Nobody is going to give you a standing ovation for having a dream. The world doesn't applaud intentions. The world applauds completion. But here's the secret most people never learn. Completion does not happen all at once. It happens in segments. You don't build an empire. You segment the construction of an empire. You don't find greatness. You segment the path until each step becomes a masterpiece. I know this not from theory, but from a life that was segmented by pain, poverty, and the opinion of people who didn't believe in me. Today, I'm going to give you the blueprint, not a motivational speech that makes you feel good for 20 minutes, but a map that changes how you see every single day of your life. And it starts with a question I want you to carry into the rest of this year. What if the only thing standing between you and your greatness is not lack of talent, not lack of resources, but the simple inability to break your vision into segments you can execute today? Let me tell you, I was a young boy, and the system had already placed its verdict on me. A label was stamped on my forehead, educated, mentally retarded. I was the kid who couldn't learn, couldn't keep up, couldn't become anything. And I believed that label because it was delivered with authority by grown-ups who seemed to know the future. I segmented my identity the way they told me to segment it, broken piece by broken piece. The poor kid, the slow learner, the abandoned child left on a kitchen floor with his twin brother. That was my starting point.
But one day a teacher called me to the blackboard.
I told him I could do the work because I was mentally retarded. He looked at me with fire in his eyes and said words that became the foundation of everything I teach today. Don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. That was the moment I realized that my life had been segmented by outside voices, and that I had the power to resegment it from inside. Here is the first principle of the blueprint. You must segment your vision from the internal image of what you can become, not from the external noise about what you are. If you don't design your own life segments, society will design them for you, and society has no ambition for your future. Society wants you to fit neatly into a box labeled predictable, but greatness is never predictable. So you must grab a blank sheet of paper, metaphorical or real, and segment your future. Don't start with a giant dream that intimidates you. Start with a 90-day block. What can you do in 1/4 of a year that moves you irreversibly forward? When I decided I wanted to be a speaker, I didn't announce I was going to change the world. I segmented it. First segment, read 2 books on public speaking in 21 days. Second segment, record myself speaking for 5 minutes every morning and analyze it ruthlessly. Third segment, offer to give 10 free speeches in the next month. Anywhere that would have me. I wasn't reaching for the stars yet. I was reaching for the next brick in the wall. My second story is about what happens when life throws a brick at your head. You have to segment your way through the pain. By 1980, my career was a wreck. I had a radio show that collapsed. I was broke, sleeping on the floor of an office, unable to pay rent. I had let my financial condition define my entire identity. When the money disappeared, I thought Les Brown disappeared with it. I had segmented my worth entirely around my bank account. When that segment crumbled, I crumbled.
I looked in the mirror
and saw failure.
But a friend came to me and said, "Les, you are in a winter season."
Winter is not the whole story. It's just a segment of the year. That word hit me like lightning. I had collapsed my whole life into this one painful chapter, forgetting that chapters exist to be turned. So I took out a notebook and did something that saved my sanity. I wrote at the top, who will I be after this storm passes? Not who am I now, but who will I be? I segmented my identity. I separated the less of the present crisis from the less of the future victory.
I wrote down words like prosperous, generous, compelling, a servant. Then I started showing up as that future Les, one 24-hour segment at a time.
The brain doesn't know the difference between an identity built instantly and an identity built in daily increments. The result is the same transformation. You see, emotional segmentation is just as critical as temporal segmentation. Too many people try to process a decade of trauma on a Tuesday night, and they wonder why they shatter. Take the resentment you carry toward your ex-spouse, or the bitterness you harbor against a parent who abandoned you. Don't try to heal the whole wound at once. Give yourself a segment, 15 minutes a day to journal the anger. Then close the notebook and live the rest of the day in purpose. What is not processed in segments will eventually explode all over your career, your new relationships, your peace of mind. In the same way, love in segments. Don't try to prove a lifetime of devotion today. Simply be an extraordinary partner for the next 3 hours.
Fully present.
Fully attentive.
Then do it again tomorrow.
Great marriages are not built on grand gestures. They are built on segmented, consistent deposits of affection and attention. The third story I need to share with you is about that moment when death comes knocking. A few years ago, I sat in a cold doctor's office and heard the word cancer, a malignant tumor. Suddenly the air got heavy and the colors drained out of the world. I was handed option surgery, radiation, or something palliative. I chose to fight, but as I waited for treatment, death pulled up a chair and sat beside me every hour. And death asked me a question I now ask every audience. Is your life a blur, or can you see each precious segment of meaning you have built? Most people live in a blur. They wake up, scroll through their phones, go to work, watch television, and repeat until the grave. They have no segmentation of purpose. But when death sits next to you, you realize that the quality of your life is determined by the clarity of your daily segments. Did you bring genuine presents to breakfast with your child this morning? That's a segment of love. Did you tackle that difficult project with full intensity for 2 undistracted hours? That's a segment of mastery. Did you call a friend and say something encouraging? That's a segment of contribution. I remembered a line I had read as a teenager. If you live each day as if it were your last, someday you will certainly be right. In that hospital bed, I wasn't afraid of dying. I was afraid of not having lived. But then I realized I didn't have to build a whole life of significance in that one anxious moment. I only had to live the next segment with total intensity. The next conversation, the next prayer, the next decision, the next bite of food.
When you segment your life down to the present moment, the fear of the infinite future loses its grip on you.
I went through
treatment, I healed, and I came out stronger. Not because cancer was a gift, but because the forced segmentation of my mortality taught me how to treasure each fragment of time. Don't wait for a diagnosis to learn that lesson. Segment your purpose now. Ask yourself every morning, if today were a page in a book, what would the heading be? What is the one-sentence purpose of this Monday, this Tuesday, this Wednesday? Live that sentence fully, and you will write a legacy. Now I want to give you the concrete blueprint, the 5 pillars of segmentation that have never failed me or the tens of thousands of people I've coached. The first pillar is temporal segmentation. Corporations run on quarters for a reason. 12 months is too abstract for the human brain to process with urgency. 12 weeks, however, is tangible. You can see the end from the beginning. So stop setting annual goals that gather dust by February. Set a 12-week goal. What outcome do you want in the next 90 days? Then, and this is crucial, segment those 12 weeks into weekly sprints and each week into daily actions. If your goal is to write a book, don't stare at the mountain of a manuscript. Commit to a segment of 500 words a day. In 90 days, you'll have 45,000 words. That's a book. I built my speaking career not by announcing I was the next great orator, but by making 10 calls a day to offer free talks. Segment the seemingly impossible into the absolutely possible. The second pillar is competence segmentation. I used to be a functional stutterer with terrible diction. Now my voice reaches millions. How did that happen? I segmented the skill. Month 1, diaphragmatic breathing. Month 2, vocal projection exercises. Month 3, mastering the pause. Month 4, tonal variety. I didn't try to become Les Brown overnight. I became a little better at one sub-skill, then added the next. This is where most people fail. They want to be fluent in a new language in 3 months, and when they're not, they quit. But you can, in 1 month, learn 1,000 words. In the next month, master the present tense. In the next month, watch a film without subtitles. Segmented competence builds permanent confidence. Every time you master a small segment, your brain gets a hit of proof that you can learn, that you can grow, that you are not stuck. The third pillar is audience segmentation. I meet aspiring speakers, entrepreneurs, and artists who say, Les, I want to impact the world. And I tell them the world is not listening, but one person is. My first audience as a speaker was a room with 5 people. 3 were asleep, and the other 2 were trying to figure out how to leave. But I wasn't aiming for a stadium. I was aiming to master the art of transforming one human soul. When you can deeply connect with one person, you understand the architecture of the human heart. Then you can connect with 10, then 100, then 10,000. Stop shouting your message into the void of the internet and start serving one person with such excellence that they become your amplifier. Segment your influence. If you touch one life a week deeply, in a year you've created 52 ambassadors who will carry your work further than any algorithm ever could. This is the yeast principle. You don't need much leaven to raise the whole loaf. The 4th pillar is emotional segmentation, which I touched on earlier, but I want to deepen it. Your emotional life is not a monolith. You can be grieving a loss in one area and still show up with joy in another. Don't let one broken segment poison the whole day. If you had a conflict at home in the morning, box it. Acknowledge it mentally, schedule a specific time to resolve it, and then walk into your workplace fully present. The ability to compartmentalize, not to suppress, but to assign each emotion its proper time slot, is a superpower of the highly successful. At the same time, segment your rest and recovery. You cannot sprint all day. Use a technique I call micro-celebrations. After every 90-minute deep work segment, take 15 minutes to walk, stretch, or listen to music. Your brain needs the punctuation of breaks to process and integrate learning. Marathon runners don't sprint the whole distance. They segment their pace. The 5th and final pillar is action segmentation. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It's a symptom of looking at the whole elephant instead of the first bite. The question I ask myself every single morning is, what is the smallest segment of action I can take right now that moves me in the direction of my destiny? It doesn't require motivation. Motivation is fickle. It requires clarity. A blurred task terrifies the brain. A tiny, clear step excites it. If you need to fix a broken relationship, don't think about reconciliation, which is massive and scary. Just pick up the phone and send a message that says, "I've been thinking about you, and I just want you to know I value our connection." That's it. That's a segment of repair. You can do that in 30 seconds. And from that small segment, the door opens for larger conversations. Action segmentation turns giants into dwarfs. Now I want to speak directly to that quiet voice inside you that's whispering, "But Les, you don't understand my situation." Maybe the medical report came back bad. Maybe the divorce papers are sitting on the kitchen counter. Maybe you've sent out 200 resumes and heard nothing. I understand. I've been on the floor. I've been publicly humiliated. I've sat in the dark wondering if I had the strength to keep going. And I am telling you, the way out is not a dramatic rescue. It's segmentation. When the pain is too big, don't try to fix the whole thing. Fix one segment of your life that you can control. Clean one room of your house. Take a walk that clears your head for 30 minutes. Write one paragraph of that business plan. Apply to one job with a tailored resume instead of blasting 100 generic ones. Each small segment you reclaim sends a signal to your psyche that you are not a victim. You are a builder. And builders, by definition, work brick by brick. Let me leave you with an image. I was once walking through a park in San Diego and I saw a sculptor working on a massive block of granite. I stood there for 20 minutes watching him chip away. I asked him, "How do you know what to remove?" He smiled and said, "I see the horse inside. Every day I remove everything that is not the horse." I thought about that for a long time. Your greatness is already inside you. It was placed there by God, by the universe, by whatever creative force you believe in. But it's buried under layers of other people's opinions, past failures, fear, and the clutter of a busy life. Your job every single day is to segment the liberation of that inner masterpiece. Chip away what is not you. Chip away the procrastination. Chip away the negative self-talk. Chip away the distraction. One segment at a time, reveal the sculpture that was always there. And when you do this, when you live each segment with intention, something remarkable happens. You stop being a wanderer and become a builder. You stop waiting for a big break and realize that big breaks are just a stack of small segments that finally became visible to the world. I am who I am today not because of one dramatic moment, but because of decades of segmented decisions, segmented learning, segmented recovery from setbacks. Can you do this? I know you can. The only question is whether you will begin, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect. Now, this hour is a segment you will never get back. Fill it with one act of courage, one step toward your blueprint. Yo.